Welcome back to Royals Corner, where we bring you the most compelling stories from inside the palace walls. I'm your host, and today we're diving into a story that's equal parts heartbreaking and fascinating. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss our royal deep dives. Trust me, you'll want to stay for this one. Picture this: you're born into one of the most famous families on earth. You have princess titles, tiaras in your jewelry box, and invitations to every major state event. But there's a catch: your parents' scandals have made your surname synonymous with controversy. This is the reality for Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie of York. And right now, as their parents face unprecedented levels of public disgrace, these two sisters are at a crossroads that could define not just their futures, but the future of the modern monarchy itself. So what happens when you're royal by birth but tainted by association? Let's find out. The weight of a surname. Beatrice and Eugenie didn't choose their parents. None of us do. But when your father is Prince Andrew, whose association with Jeffrey Epstein led to a disastrous BBC interview and the stripping of his military titles and royal patronages, and your mother is Sarah Ferguson, whose own scandals have kept tabloids in business for decades, well, you're not exactly starting from a neutral position. These sisters have spent their entire lives watching their parents make headlines for all the wrong reasons. From the toe-sucking scandal of 1992 that rocked their mother's marriage, to the 2010 cash for access controversy, to Andrew's catastrophic fall from grace in 2019, Beatrice and Eugenie have been collateral damage in a war they never enlisted in. Two sisters, two different paths. But here's where it gets interesting. Despite sharing the same complicated parents, Beatrice and Eugenie have carved out remarkably different approaches to navigating their royal reality. Beatrice, the elder of the two, has always been more cautious, more private. She works in the tech industry, keeps her head down, and seemed to approach her own wedding in 2020 with a "let's not make this a big deal" mentality. When she married Edoardo Mapelli-Mozzi in a small, secret ceremony during COVID lockdown, it felt symbolic, a woman trying to separate herself from the circus that often surrounds her family. Eugenie, on the other hand, has been slightly more public. She had a televised wedding at Windsor Castle in 2018, works for an art gallery, and has been more visible on social media, using her platform to advocate for causes like ocean conservation and modern slavery awareness. She's attempting something delicate: remaining relevant without being too royal, being visible without being vulnerable. The question of working royals. Now, here's the million-pound question that everyone's asking: could Beatrice and Eugenie become working royals? With the slimmed-down monarchy that King Charles has long envisioned, and with Harry and Meghan having stepped back, there's a manpower shortage in the royal family. The current working royals are aging, and there simply aren't enough people to cut ribbons, attend state dinners, and carry out the thousands of engagements required each year. Some royal commentators have suggested that Beatrice and Eugenie could fill this gap. They're well-educated, well-connected, and despite everything, they've largely managed to stay scandal-free themselves. They've done royal duties before, they understand the protocol, and they're still relatively young. But here's the problem: their father. Andrew's disgrace isn't just a minor embarrassment. It's a stain that doesn't wash out. Any attempt to elevate his daughters to working royal status would inevitably invite questions about whether the family is trying to rehabilitate his image through the back door. The optics would be, to put it mildly, terrible. The public perception problem. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Do the British public even want Beatrice and Eugenie as working royals? Polls suggest the answer is complicated. Many people feel sympathy for the sisters. After all, they didn't choose their father's actions. But sympathy doesn't necessarily translate into support for funding their royal roles through taxpayer money. In an age where the monarchy is constantly defending its relevance and its cost, adding two more royals to the payroll seems like a tough sell. There's also the matter of their previous public perception. Both sisters faced cruel scrutiny over their fashion choices, their weight, their appearances at events. While this criticism was often unfair and misogynistic, it created a narrative that they were somehow lesser royals, not quite up to the standard of their cousins William and Harry. So if the path to being working royals is blocked, what can Beatrice and Eugenie actually do? Option 1. Continue as they are. Maintain their private careers, make occasional appearances at family events, and essentially live as royals adjacent. This is the safest route, but it also means accepting a permanent position in the shadows. Option 2. Fully embrace private life. Drop the HRH titles from public use, step back entirely from royal events, and build completely independent identities. This would be the most radical move, but it might also be the most liberating. Option 3. The hybrid model. This is what they seem to be attempting now, keeping one foot in royal life and one foot out. It's precarious, but it might be the only sustainable option given their unique circumstances. What's fascinating about Beatrice and Eugenie's situation is that it reflects a larger question facing the entire monarchy. What do you do with the spare royals in the 21st century? The institution needs them when it's convenient, but doesn't want to fully support them. The public is curious about them but resistant to paying for them. They have titles and status but limited actual power or purpose. It's a fundamentally unstable position. So, their parents are in disgrace. What now for Beatrice and Eugenie? The honest answer is that nobody really knows, possibly not even the sisters themselves. They're navigating an impossible situation with grace and dignity, trying to build meaningful lives while carrying the weight of a surname that has become synonymous with scandal. What we do know is this: Beatrice and Eugenie represent a new generation of royals who didn't ask for the spotlight but got it anyway. How they handle the next chapter will tell us a lot, not just about them, but about whether the monarchy can evolve to accommodate people who don't fit neatly into its traditional boxes. One thing is certain: these two princesses are far more than just their parents' daughters. They're complex, intelligent women trying to write their own stories in a world that keeps wanting to write it for them. What do you think? Should Beatrice and Eugenie become working royals, or should they forge their own paths away from the palace? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into royal drama, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Royals Corner for more stories from inside the monarchy. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Until next time, this is Royals Corner, where we keep you in the loop on all things royal.